Hey folks, with The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom well and truly on the way for release this coming May, many questions, mysteries and theories are going around. A new question that came to mind recently was, what if only one champion from Breath of the Wild could return? As in, who would it be? Which fallen champion most deserves the chance to return? Obviously all do, but let's hypothetically say that we are Princess Zelda and have to narrow our choice down to just one champion. Face to face with them all as spirits and only bring one of them back. Who would it be and why? Be sure to go and grab yourself a snack or drink and send them in to get featured right here, and also be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps the channel out. And let's get into this one. To do this straightforward, I will go over each champion one by one and discuss their pros and cons in my opinion. Yes, this is my opinion. You're more than welcome to share yours in the comments. And please do. I love a discussion down there. Anyway, first off, let's start with the first champion I ever encountered. Mipha. Mipha. A kind-hearted soul with a healing touch, but someone who I bet many of us underestimate when it comes to combat. We don't see her in combat ever, but given she carries this badass stunning trident, she's definitely trained, and could probably take care of some monsters in the way. The biggest pro for Mipha is of course her ability to heal. Now I'm not talking about Mipha's grace specifically, nor each champion's specific ability to Link for the matter, rather, overall potential contribution. Mipha would hypothetically be able to heal Zelda and whoever else we encounter and work with in this adventure. Then when it comes to Link specifically, she already holds a very strong bond with the hero, one that they've shared from a young age. This would, for me, come in handy during whatever happens. That comes with trust and confidence within each other, something other champions don't hold as strongly. Another strong pro for Mipha is that she would undoubtedly be supportive in terms of her words. She isn't just a physical healer, but also a mental one. She's kind, and that could help out massively when the going gets tough. As for some cons, like I mentioned earlier, we've never really seen her in combat. It's not that she is bad in combat, it's just the lack of knowledge on her combat ability. For all we know, it could be top tier, but it could also be very lackluster. I mean, she is a healer, so it wouldn't be that unexpected if it wasn't the greatest compared to other champions. I just think taking the risk of not knowing is a point against. Another con would be that her strengths lie in the water. This game appears to have a big focus on the sky and underground. She wouldn't be able to put her traversal strength to much use. Maybe there would be some water underground and on the Skylands, but I can't imagine it being much. That's Mipha. Now let's move on to the opposite of the water-strong Zora. Daruk. Rough and tough, but an awesome personality of a Goron. Resistant to heat and incredibly strong, but scared of doggos. Daruk is a solid choice. Starting with his main pros, I believe that he would form a very typical Goron brotherly bond with Link, creating a great degree of trust, similar to Mipha. Another big point for is his heat resistant abilities, something that could come in handy whenever. Fire-based enemies, sorting out whatever is going on over at Death Mountain, and just generally good to have. Then there is the main strength of Daruk. Strength. Gorons are natural beasts when it comes to their immense strength. Then there is Daruk, the champion of the Gorons. This guy is very strong, and that could be of help both underground, maybe even to break your way through some areas, but just generally as well. However, it is this one weakness that comes with strength that gives him a pretty big point against. He is also heavier and slower than the other champions, which might not be ideal for some of this game's traversal. And you know, we are trying to think here for what the champion selected to be brought back could do in terms of the whole story, not just one segment, which would fit for solving the issue at Death Mountain, but this is for the whole game we're talking about. This does go against him unfortunately, but it isn't that bad when you look at everything going for him. With Daruk discussed, now let's look at another warm location. Urbosa. Mami, a fantastic warrior, flawless in combat and caring when required. Urbosa is my favourite champion personally. It was once Mipha, but now Urbosa. However, I won't let that personal bias get in here too much. I want to aim for mostly logical reasons. So Urbosa. She has so many points for. For starters, she is evidently an amazing warrior, strong, fast and athletic in combat, abilities like no other. She is honestly the complete package out of the 4 champions if you're looking for somebody to fight for you. But she's much more than that. Urbosa is also a great leader. She might not have the closest bond with Link, but she'd definitely be a fantastic companion, and never shy away from a tough situation. She'd have Link's back all of the way. I've also noticed that Urbosa has great awareness of whatever is going on. In a story that looks to be highly unpredictable, that'll come in handy. Now, as for some points against, I honestly can't think of any. Like, honestly, have a think. Can you think of any? I can't. I think that Urbosa would fit into pretty much any situation in the sequel alongside Link. So yeah, to move on to our final champion, we're getting cold, but in the right place. Revali. The confident, but sometimes too confident, Rito warrior. The bird boy of the Rito is definitely up there with Urbosa in terms of points for. So let's discuss those first. Revali is an extremely precise and well-trained warrior, specifically in archery. He has trained his abilities with a bow to an insanely unimaginable level, to levels of 99.9% accuracy. Revali simply doesn't miss. He of course flies, being a Rito, which gives him a massive point for in the sequel. The sky is going to be a very big part of this game, and Revali wins the point for being the easiest to traverse in this world. He's also extremely confident in his abilities, and rightfully so. He worked hard for it and got it. Now, whilst he definitely won't be very close to Link or Zelda, to be honest, he will be up for any challenge. That's the thing about Revali. He isn't exactly close to many people, but he is driven to be the best, both for himself and unfortunately sometimes in a competitive way, which leads me to his points against. Revali is too competitive. He needs to be better than people, and that is often unfortunate because he is already so damn gifted and shouldn't need to feel that way. But it sometimes gets the better of him. That, and he is often arrogant. There is confidence, and good confidence, but there becomes a point where it turns into arrogance, then clouding his vision on the actual task/goal at hand. That is all 4 champions outside of Link, of course, and their pros and cons in my opinion. So, now to come to an answer. The fun part. If only one of them could return in the sequel, who should it be? I'll say this first. Each of the 4 champions that we just went over all arguably deserve a spot. That is exactly why they were all selected in the first place to be champions. They are all worthy. However, I have created a hypothetical situation where if this happened in the game, we the player, playing as Link, were literally asked to bring one of them back, and only one, who would we pick? It is such a hard and emotional decision, and going off the pros and cons, you're probably thinking that I'm gonna say Urbosa, right? And you'd have good reason to think that. However, for me, the champion that I would choose to bring back above all other champions is Revali. Now, that may come as a shock to some of you considering the amount of Revali slander I make on this channel. Yes, he is still a salty little chicken wing in my mind. However, logically and ability-wise, I think he makes the most sense. Sure, he wouldn't have the greatest relationship possible, but thinking about it, his issues were in the past. Those issues are, in a way, gone. Calamity Ganon is gone. That's what started his whole issues with Link. Revali knows his place now, and I think could potentially mend a relationship with Link. Even if not, if he was just a companion and nothing more, then he'd be a brilliant one. He is a very talented archer and can obviously fly as well, which will come in handy. The other 3 would be great too, and don't need to fly to make this place. I mean, Link can't fly. I just feel that Revali overall makes the most sense, and plus, I've slandered him so much on the channel that I could feel an attack from Revali fans being planned for me. So I'll leave the main part of this video on this. He's alright, I guess. Stupid salty chicken wing. That is my thoughts on if only one champion could return in Tears of the Kingdom. As always, let me know what you think. Who would you bring back and why? Be sure to drop a wee like down below if you enjoyed, and also consider subscribing for more fabulous Zelda content. Both would make my day. Follow my socials linked below to keep up to date, and as always, a huge, massive, amazing shout out goes to all of my channel supporters. With a massive shout out to new supporter, Hyrule Gamer. Thanks a ton. Your support really helps me to make these videos week in, week out, all month long, 365 days a year. If you'd like to join them and get yourself a shout out upon joining, and your name at the end of every video, then consider supporting via the links below. Thanks for watching. I hope you all have an amazing day or night, and until the next time, I've been Hyrule Gamer.